Well, we'll have to bring you the latest traffic information, but good morning to you. I love your red.
Good morning.
Looks good. Looks like my tie. At least today we're matching.
Well,
but we also know that today is the State of the Nation address.
Absolutely, as the president's
you'll be in Parliament
third
with
of the State of the
Kojo,
Nation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Kojo's already in Parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to join him subsequently.
I am.
We'll bring you some comprehensive coverage of that. But this is what also we're comprehensive about informing you. It's about the latest traffic information. Ghs55.3M.
Okay, so we're going to just start off with the Ring Road Central. I can predict, okay, that's it. It's all very clear right now, the Ring Road Central. If it's your regular routes, then you know it's a good time to set off. And then we're going to check out the Harbour Road. We're going to check out Tetekwashi as well. It's a Thursday. And today's Thursday, yeah, usually around this time, getting to the end of the week. You know,
and also the Kangifa Road, all of them will try and reach them and see what we can get by the way of latest. But let's take you to Tema. We're taking you to the Tema end of the Accra-Tema motorway.
Oh, it's never been like this week. This is the best, I think.
Are you sure?
It's moving,
still traffic. No, it's still traffic.
Well, it's moving slowly, but it's not as packed as we would usually see it around this time. Yeah.
I guess because today's a Thursday.
Well, is it? Yesterday there was a lot of traffic late afternoon yesterday, and I think even on Tuesday. But this morning it's really cool. It's really cool.
Well, so we'll take you to our next stop. We'll take you to the Airport City area, and of course the cameras are all overlooking the airport shell. Well, traffic seems to be...
It's like airport is waking up this morning.
Yeah.
It's not waking up.
Of course, beyond the roundabout, you get a bit of a slow moving traffic, but it's still quite not congested as you find usually at this time of the morning. So just in case you want to do the connecting road, you want to go through this route, it won't be a bad idea if you do it quickly. So we have to take you to the Bema Camp Gifford Road, and the traffic's towards the end of the traffic light when you're heading towards all those areas, work, etc. So you get to know that you can use those routes, but at the same time you just have to be careful which of the intersections and the connecting route you have to use if your usual route is the Gifford Bema Camp Road cantonments leading to Labone, Labadi, etc. Well, so we have to move on, and the next destination will take you to Tetekwashi. And Tetekwashi usually at this time of the morning she'll be packed. Well, we're hoping that this morning not at all. Yeah, not at all, not yet. I won't say not at all, at least not yet. Again, all this is through the courtesy of traffic.com.gh. You're coming from Oyibi, Amrahia, Adenta, Ibri, Pantang, Ayimensa, Dodowa, Adenta, Medina, Legon itself. This is the route you have to use quickly. Please make sure that you're just in time within the next 10 minutes and connecting to the main highway. And we have to do the newspapers. Amavi, you have the Daily Graphic.
I've got the Daily Graphic, looking through some of the stories already. So front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, no cache of arms in my house. That's the NDC presidential candidates in the recent Ayawaso...
parliamentary candidates.
What did I say?
Presidential candidate.
Okay, apologies. So Delali Brempong appearing before the Commission of Inquiry and making these comments. Somebody saying that, he did hear quite a bit because there was a lot of hearsay in his submission yesterday. Appropriately so, because he didn't witness the gunshots and so on and so forth.
Yes,
he wasn't home. Zoom Lion unveils street sweeping vehicles. That story is on the back page of the paper. I think 10 mechanical sweeping vehicles. We will tell you a bit more when we dig in. Also on the front page, 55.3 million Ghana cedis incentives for teachers to provide extra classes for SHS students. President delivers third SONA today. That's the State of the Nation address. We're in Parliament this morning. Okay, so back page of the paper is that Zoom Lion story, the fact that it's unveiled some street sweeping vehicles in collaboration with Sanitation Ministry. Looks like it is to meet the president's declaration that he wanted Accra to become the cleanest city in Africa by 2020. Center spread of the paper, there are some stories in the center spread. ECG to undertake expansion projects in Ashanti region. Public sector health professionals can do locum according to in Siasari. Interesting. And then medical drone services free for patients. Health agencies, government absorbs full cost. These are the stories in the center spread of the paper this morning. That will be it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. If I may, let's continue with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Front page of the Times, Ghana backs $3 billion from diasporan remittances in 2018 last year. I didn't have firearms in my house. NDC parliamentary candidate. Security operatives wear masks to protect their identities. National Security Operations Director saying his commander, the commander of the SWAT team, Mr. Azigo, who appeared a day before him, was joking. You know, the analogy was just a joke, apparently. I don't know how you swear to a commission to come and sit and joke to the whole nation. President to deliver State of the Nation address today. Students in court for allegedly robbing a colleague of 5 Ghana cedis. It's an 18-year-old student of Adisadel College who appeared before the Accra Circuit Court 1 for allegedly robbing another student of, guess how much, 5 Ghana cedis. Details of that in the paper. Back page of the Times, reports on slums development launched. Turkey urged to support Oda water projects. And then in the center spread, that's a bit of the president's address to the nation today. 3 electrocuted, 10 others injured at Achim Asekam. 10 civil servants appointed as chief directors, and Ghana backs $3 billion from diaspora remittances in 2018. That full story is in the center spread of the Times today. Roland?
All right, so I have the Daily Dispatch newspaper. We have on the front page, NDC's 2020 flag bearership slots. Mahama will get over 60%. We also have mafias, not political parties, control vigilante groups. NDC's Delali Brimpong, and that story is on page 11 of the paper, and Minister of Local Government and Greater Accra region praise Zoom Lion. We know that they introduced new...
Well, the sweeping vehicles.
Yeah.
So they will be sweeping where exactly?
Main principal streets. Mainly.
Because it takes, this is light refuse.
Yes.
And sand.
Yes.
Okay. So all right. It will be sweeping the ceremonial streets, at least for now. We have to cross over because Kojo Singh is on standby in Parliament. Kojo will tell us how things look like 43 minutes after 6 a.m. Kojo Singh, good morning.
This is where it's all going to happen today. The State of the Nation address for 2019 will be delivered by the President right here at Parliament House. Now, this is how it will unfold. He will arrive through here, as usual, through the security gates behind me. He'll come straight in his convoy. They will stop pretty much where I'm standing. And when he comes out, there will be a guard on parade here that he will very quickly inspect. But before that, of course, there will be the national anthem. And as we often see on television, the national anthem will be delivered by the President from this podium right here. And you can see that people who have been working all day and all night to set up the premises for this important historic event are still at it, making sure that the final touches are put in place. So this is where President Akufo-Addo will be standing later this morning as he faces the parade for the national anthem. But why is today so important? Well, because the Constitution mandates that the President deliver the State of the Nation address to Parliament every single year. So once he finishes on the podium, he will then make the long walk up these ceremonially decorated stairs into the House of Parliament. Now, Every State of the Nation address is important and different for many reasons. Last year, the president talked about so many things. In sanitation, he made a promise that by the end of his term, Accra would be the cleanest city in Africa. It is a promise he takes very seriously. Today, he will inform the Parliament, the gathered House of Parliament, how far along that promise he has traveled so far. In agriculture, he talked about how one district, one factory is connected directly to the prospects of agriculture here in Ghana. He talked about how food processing is what has transformed nations who have relied on agriculture in order to move forward in development. So he promised that that project, one district, one factory, would be the backbone of prosperity in the agricultural sector. He also linked it to one village, one dam. The president explained that it is a low-tech initiative which can immediately transform the lives of people in some of the most remote parts of our country. So today he's going to inform the House of how far he has traveled in delivering that. And speaking of traveling far, the president has every intention of also talking about railways, another of the initiatives that he takes very seriously. He has a railway minister who is at the forefront of delivering his biggest promise in terms of transport transformation. He wants to connect all parts of the country. He talked about how by this time there should be some significant progress in setting up the railway line from Takoradi, which is going to pass through some parts of the country, all the way up to Paga and beyond into Burkina Faso. But of course, today we want to know how far along in that delivery of that promise the president and his team have traveled. And so that is one of the things people will be looking out to hear from him on today. But not just the area of railway, but security, which has suddenly become a very, very important issue. The president promised 100 million cedis to the Ghana police, in addition to all kinds of equipment for the improvement of their work. Now, the Ghana police today is being assessed not just by themselves, but by the people of Ghana. How safe do we feel? The president, hopefully, will be able to articulate those feelings of Ghanaians when it comes to our security, and whether or not the promise he made to provide that money has been fulfilled, and whether the police have been able to improve in their delivery as a result of the delivery of that promise. We do know that some vehicles have been delivered to the police. How well have those vehicles improved the work of the Ghana police? We will also hear about the state of security in terms of our borders through immigration, and also in terms of our state through the armed forces. He will deliver all of that right here. Now, by the time he gets to this point, he will probably be followed by quite a contingent of people, including the vice president and all other members of his cabinet, who will be accompanying him here today to hear the State of the Nation address. But you see, here on Joy News, we will not only bring you the event, we will bring you the analysis, we will bring you the thought leadership, we will ask the critical questions, and we will give you the biggest, clearest, brightest picture of the state of our nation. Brightest because it will, of course, include your views. So stay exactly where you are. Don't go anywhere else. It's all happening right here this morning.
And that's Kojo Yang saying live from Parliament House, giving us a brief in terms of some of the promises the president's made, some of the things he talked about in his last State of the Nation address, and a follow-up to this year's State of the Nation address. We're all waiting to hear what the president will say, but certainly those are some of the expectations. Give us an update of some of the things that you said last year in terms of security, in terms of agriculture, in terms of education. All of that. We'll be having a lot more discussions in Parliament later this morning. But we'll continue with the review of the newspapers. Roland had just finished, I think, with the Daily Guide. Yeah. Okay.
I had finished with the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Okay. So I'm on now with the Daily Guide newspaper. It has on the front page, NDC candidate stages drama at Ayahuasca Commission. So not today. Killed NDC man's family throws bombshell as vigilante is buried amid tight security. There's a picture there of one Wasihu Idrisu. MMDC's election LI late. And those are the stories we have front page. On the back page, we have a couple of stories as well. But let's go to the Custodian newspaper. Has on the front page, Akufo-Addo fights vigilantism in Sona today. Government lays bill for MMDC's election, and that promise is being fulfilled. Steadily, we're getting there. North Dai MP tackles child trafficking. MP is to receive Ghana Beyond a document, and cyber thieves target payment data. That shows that you just have to be careful. And those are the stories we have on the front page of the Custodian newspaper.
All right, let's do the Business Finder newspaper. Front page of the Business Finder. PPI rates keeps declining for industry. New fertilizer terminal in Tema has capacity to serve entire West Africa sub-region. Okay, that's positive. There's a market summary also on the front page of the paper. The consumer price inflation, interest rates, Ghana Stock Exchange, the currencies. And a lot of people will be looking forward to the president's comments on the cedi this year. So, you know, this is how the paper puts it, even though we know that it's a little above 5 Ghana cedis, the currency, the US dollar. The paper quotes 5.001 Ghana cedi. The euro is at 5.635 Ghana cedis. The pound, 6.413. And the South African rand, 0.358 Ghana cedis. That's the interbank rates as of February 15, 2019. And the source, UMB stock brokers. And also the commodity prices, all contained in today's Business Finder newspaper. At least you can catch these on the front page of the paper. Let's finish off with the Daily Statesman newspaper. Front page, $50 million US dollars, one district, one factory, fertilizer plant commissioned. Construction of Qatar port underway. President addresses nation today. Alabi cries, Hawks shooting. We don't need gun wielding youth in NDC. Details of all these headlines and more in the Daily Statesman newspaper. All right, Roland, in the absence of any more papers, so you've got one?
No.
All right.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so let's see. Let's share a bit of details with you. I'm interested in this story in the Daily Graphic newspaper about 55.3 million Ghana cedis. That is supposed to be incentives for teachers to provide extra classes for SHS students. That's on page 3. And it says the government has made available the over 55,000 Ghana cedis to provide incentives for teachers to offer extra tuition to all senior high school students after the normal class hours. The amount, which is made up of an annual intervention grant of 50 Ghana cedis per student, is part of the government's effort to replace the extra classes fees hitherto paid by parents. And the payment of extra classes fees does not provide the opportunity for acceleration or remediation for students who cannot afford to pay. And furthermore, the paper says the provision of incentives for teachers is an essential element of the free SHS policy, which seeks to improve access to quality and equity education.
So does it mean the extra class is in the school, when they're in school?
Yes.
When they're in school?
Yes.
So when would they do that during the day?
Because it said after the normal class hours.
And we know pretty much the free SHS students close quite late, around 3 or thereabout, because of the classes that they have to go through. Those who are part of the double track system, I mean. Yeah, so at what point would they, and haven't been in, because they are usually in class for longer hours than the normal people. The normal, so at what point are they going to do, and wouldn't they be exhausted knowing that they have to be taught and taught and taught before the close of the day? I think that would be the worry. But if they have done the feasibility and feel that there would not be any kind of classroom fatigue or absorption fatigue, I think that's all by me. Because I remember when Cassandra Chumampofo had those various interactions.
Spokesperson of the GS.
Yes, the PRO had various interactions with her. He said, or she said, the classes will close at 3. And I'm thinking, if a student goes into class early morning, if it's from 7 or whatever time, and closes at 3, that person needs to rest. rest. You need to go to prep. And when are you going to have extra classes? How many minutes? How many hours?
Okay.
And
so
then,
this is also going to go into the weekends, apparently.
okay.
Yeah. So after normal class hours and also the weekends. But they're doing vacation classes for those in Form 3. So they are a special case.
Yes, they are doing vacation classes for all the schools.
For those in the final year. I'm not sure. I want to believe it will be those on the tracks.
No, the Form 3s are not part of the tracks. I mean, they are not part of the tracks. They are not part of the the double track or the rollout. Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. So that's how it is currently. And if there's not going to be any fatigue among the students, I think that's okay.
That's your worry.
That's my worry. And if I remember vividly, I think Saturday was even supposed to have been used for the double track. And there were concerns that teachers may be absent because they will go for funerals. And I don't know whether if you remember that conversation at the beginning when we wanted to do the rollout.
Yeah.
Is that the current situation in the schools? Because I haven't found out. If it is that they're not teaching on Saturdays, then that's okay. We can have a class period. But that means that they're going to have it once a week, or how many times a week?
So we're still asking a lot of questions following the rollout of this policy. And the changes that have come with it.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure, I guess the whole idea of this is so schools and teachers will not bother students with extra classes fee. So we're going to take up that burden so that no student is sent away or prevented from taking part in an extra class activity.
Outside the structure
so that
of
if you cannot afford, you're still part of it. I guess that's the whole idea. Whether or not this is going to be released in good time, because we say there are incentives, right? So if it would be released in good time to serve its purpose on the other side for those who will be doing the teaching, that's also another thing.
Yeah. I think it's laudable. It's laudable in many ways because it also serves as an incentive for the teachers themselves, because no matter what we think, I mean, they would want extra earning somewhere, and if they can get that, but complementarily also help the students acquire more knowledge or complete the syllabus or the curriculum in time, it's all well and good.
Yeah.
The thing is, do we have the space and the time for it, or do we have the time for it? I think that more appropriately, and if we do, then nobody should have any difficulty.
Yeah.
The good thing is we're told that by the close of next academic year, is it next academic year they said we're going to have a closure to the double track system? That is if we complete, or is it this academic year? I think it's next academic year.
I think what I remember is that those who are going to Form 2 would not be on the tracks.
No, that one we all know.
Okay.
Yes. Those
so
who are in first year, when they go to Form 2, they are not going to be on the tracks. They are going to be on the semester system, but they are not going to be on the tracks. But I'm talking about the first year's admission and then rolling out double track. There's this information that has come on. It has been widely publicized from the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service that there's not going to be this 3 months, that by the next academic year, we would have had buildings or structures for teaching and learning completed. Because hitherto we have had uncompleted structures in the various schools, and new ones also will be started, and by the close of the next academic year will be completed. And so thereafter, we're going to have just a normal stream of admission of students. So we come back to the normal term, I believe, or if it's a semester-based system we still want to run, then it's all.
But in September, we'll still have first-year students on the tracks.
Yes. We're told that the next academic year, by the close of next year, not in the next year.
Then we should have.
We're going to have the abolishment.
So we would have closed in, and then the tracks would not exist.
Yes, that's the hope. That's the
okay.
Hope.
All right. Lots of changes with the tracks. If you're parents, I hope that you're keeping, you're up to speed with the different changes. It gets confusing a bit even for me. So. Details of that in the paper you can read on the Deputy Education Minister speaking to the newspaper, so you can check it out.
Yeah, and we again still have to tell you that we'll bring you a live coverage of the State of the Nation address by President Akufo-Addo. And just in case you have some questions, you can go onto our Facebook page Give us some of your comments there. What would you want the president anticipatedly to look at or to address? And JoyNews on TV is always there for you. You want to touch on something?
We have to talk about the Commission of Inquiry. Okay, well, but
yesterday.
Time is almost up. Yeah, time is up, 7 a.m. already. Okay, so I guess we can talk about it briefly.
Yeah,
we'll go on myjoyonline.com. I don't know what you make of the NDC's candidates in the last by-election, considering the fact that he wasn't there himself. He did hear a lot, and there was a lot of hearsay. He shared a lot.
Well, if you are there even as a reporter, because I have to say that on ground, not many reporters tried to be there when the shooting was ongoing.
We know a lot of people run away.
I mean, logically,
some
because
went to the school itself to go and take cover,
and some went onto the streets where the residences are. So it's for good reason that you would also want to pick eyewitness information, and you, even as reporters, you have witnessed and reported or recorded issues and events. You also want to get eyewitness reports and try to synchronize all those conversations and see whether you can. Because, for example, the initial reports that were coming out from St. George, which of course we espoused, was that some people had been shot, they were dead, and all that. So as a reporter, you always do the attribution. And at the end of the day, you also try to find out what the truth is and come to your conclusion.
Let me try and put that in perspective. So Colonel Michael Opoku appeared before the commission. He is the Director of Operations at the National Security. And there was a video played to him. After the video, and this video was not from JoyNews, by the way, even though the content of it, watching it, I realized that the media house had picked footages from other media houses and they gave credit to them. So they picked from JoyNews, they picked from UTV, they picked from other places, and they put it together. Now, when he commented on it, he sought to dispute and said that the video had been doctored. But he goes on to say that Joy FM reported that 2 people had died. Now, you reported for us, and I remember sitting on this show that morning, that you essentially were talking to witnesses and saying what they had said, because you didn't witness the shooting.
No, I didn't witness the shooting.
You didn't witness anybody.
I actually didn't know about anybody being dead. I was making attributions to what the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram had said, and you could see that even in the videos, he was making attributions, shoots people.
Exactly.
People.
So I think the Colonel doesn't quite understand what we do, maybe.
Yeah, you see, sometimes reporting, you report accounts, and you make attributions.
Exactly.
And then there's a caveat. That's why we use claim, allege, and then at the end of the day, you have the responsibility to go and verify.
Yeah, because I remember you saying quite clearly in that report that you cannot independently verify because you were not there. But this is what the MP was alleging. But we didn't say anywhere that 2 persons had died.
Actually, if that had dominated it, I'm sure that would have been news somehow. I'm surprised.
Exactly.
I'm surprised
because we were quite cautious all through the day, only reporting what had been confirmed, and that's where we went. But I kind of get him. I mean, it was all a bit too much. And also saying that the SWAT commander, the mask thing that he said was a joke. I wonder how anybody would come and sit before this serious commission of inquiry. This was set up by the president, and swear to tell the truth. It has
the powers of
a high court.
Yeah.
Nothing but
and that's why you swear. Is it to the Constitution, or which is the Bible?
Well, and you're asking me legal things that I have no idea. If you can call up a lawyer, but I'm just saying that I'm wondering how a whole SWAT commander can come and sit before a commission. This is a serious thing, and then be joking.
And joke under oath.
Yeah, that's just what so I was wondering. So all the things that Mr. Azugu said, which ones would we consider as jokes, and which ones would be facts?
The facts.
Yeah.
Yes. I think one thing we do know is that since Thursday, there's been concerns of inconsistency.
Yeah.
For each narration, I think that it looks like after each submission by a witness, then we go and take a look at what the past submission was and do a correction, and then we go on. And so you look, the government team, and I'm not talking particular, I'm talking about the state team represented by the ministers, the head of security, the SWAT commander. I think that the story should have been well coordinated and synchronized, because it looks like at one point in time the marks are worn and they are behind him. He didn't know that they were supposed to wear it, and then he gives indication when they are worn, etc. And the national coordinator for national security comes to say that they were supposed to wear it on that day, and it's because the SWAT commander may have made all these. Look, many of the witnesses who came before the commission are reporting reported speech or hearsays. And everybody is entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have to make a certain conclusion. Who do we believe? What is the truth? And what will be that truth that will be carried in the final report?
Yeah. Very crucial. One thing is for sure, though, I think what we had suspected, the fact that this was not well coordinated, I think that's been established. Because if you listen to the various accounts, they don't flow. And you want to believe the police because they didn't have information. And they told us what was fact on that day. They didn't know these men. And yesterday, it was very important because the colonel said he was the person in charge. And it was his responsibility. That was, I'm just picking from the question and answer, to inform the police about the operation, but he didn't. But he said he wasn't sure, and the question was put, but you are the person who, if anybody would have communicated, then that would have been you. So yeah, I agree with you. We're waiting to see the kind of recommendations that will come, but it gets a bit confusing and all. Yesterday, one of the commissioners did indicate when the NDC candidates in the by-election appeared that they were going to go to the place to go and take a look at what had happened. The bullet holes and things like that.
On the school building, he said.
Exactly. So they're going to go there and physically try and verify. It's a tough job even for them, but I'm grateful that we're not doing this criminal investigation, because I still believe that if the police were to have taken this up as a criminal investigation, there's so many things that they wouldn't have discovered or uncovered. We wouldn't have known so much like we do with this commission. I'm okay if we don't even go ahead with a criminal prosecution, because I'm convinced within me that it won't get us anywhere. This is the best we can get. At least this brings to the fore the kind of inconsistency, the lack of cooperation, like who is in charge, who is doing what. I mean, I was surprised to hear, for instance, that the arms, they picked up, the SWAT guys actually got the arms from the police headquarters.
I see.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation with Dr. Kwesi, and he has his own opinion about precedent, which is giving indication that usually the fine work of commissions, especially in the security sector is slowly implemented.
Okay.
He doesn't want us to use poorly, but it's not fully implemented in terms of the number of the white papers. Because when the report is issued, it's taken to the one who constituted the committee or the commission, and subsequently a white paper will be issued, and usually, well, it has to be implemented to the letter. And he says that the percentages are always low in terms of the implementation. As a history.
We'll be on Mr. Milshot's and Professor Harrington Mensah-Bonsu if their recommendations not carried out. But there will be more. Dr. Kwesi speaks with Roland Walker. That will be on the AM show today. We're going heavy because we're talking about the states of our nation today. And one of the topical things that we all worry about is security. But real quick, let's do myjoyonline.com. On our page this morning, Roland Walker.
Yeah, so we have on the page a Milshot Commission doing some good work. NDC alters stance. SONA 2019, what President Akufo-Addo must do. Reject party militia of all forms, assemblies of God's rallying call. And this one is coming from the Accra East Regional Church, banking sector reforms, fiscal and macroeconomic costs too. And this one is written by former finance minister Seth Tekpe. Read the part one, very educative. Kumasi shooting confirms plans to scuttle NDC primaries, top executive. And watching Nigeria from afar. It's an epistle
Elizabeth
from
Ohene.
Elizabeth Ohene.
One of the finest writers in Ghana.
Yes. 8 more persons declared wanted over fatal NDC office shooting. And we have shot commission petition to invite Mahama, we're told.
I totally disagree. We want people who are related to the events on that day.
Well, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest sports headlines.